if there is a power failure, you will not understand what is the root cause of the power failure.
And that means that the whole building doesn't have electrical supply and people cannot continue with their business, with their operation.
Anyone else lost power?
So physically, the technician has to run down to site and then try to identify what could have caused the power failure. And then there are so many equipments in the building that could have resulted in a power being tripped. And while you are still investigating the cause of this power failure, it could have resulted in multiple failures. So if you get somebody trapped inside the lift, it will take time for technicians to respond to the lift and rescue the passenger.
Anyone inside?
Yes, there are 2 people stuck inside.
Please don't turn. Help is on the way.
When we embarked on the transformation journey, the key objective was really to see how we can improve our productivity in our operations.
What we seek to do is we want to detect anomalies in our daily FM operations and trigger interventive measures to the relevant service providers. This type of op center in Singapore is the first of its kind where it actually leveraged on technology to improve the FM operations on the ground. So the building optimization system allows JTC to remotely monitor, analyze real-time building data from the system and optimize the building performance. It allows us to address those faults that causes energy leakages in the building, resolve them in a timely manner and make sure that the buildings are optimized.
Unlike those days when we have to physically go down to site and see for yourself each individual equipment, and probably you will not be able to cover all the equipments in a single day. But in a single click of a button, now I'm able to see all the information of the building system. So you can identify hotspots at the early stage, intervene and then resolve an issue before any major disruptions happen.
Our building optimization system allows us to not just keep track of critical breakdowns, but it also allows us to track inefficiencies within our systems. The other capability of our optimization system allows us to prioritize so that we can act on the ones which are more critical.
To address the securities of the cloud implementation, what we have done is we have put in place many mitigation factors, for example, access control and all the necessary monitoring cyber watch center, as well as security operations center. All this will provide 24-hour round-the-clock monitoring with all the necessary mitigation and remediation plan.
As we most industry, we recognize that the environment is changing, so is the FM industry. Not only that JTC has to manage bigger portfolio of properties, more effort is required to keep our building systems running as well as to ensure that our buildings remain relevant for our industrialists. Through the streamlining of processes, leveraging of technology, we are able to manage our facilities in a more efficient and more productive way.
Digitalization is as much about people as it is about technology. We have to think about a change management process where we win the hearts and minds of our people to change and work differently, even as they embrace technology.
Now, with technology, you're able to really understand the performance of the building. You take ownership, you're empowered to decide what can be done and which is right treatment for the building, and you can feel confident in yourself. Technology is there to help you, to aid you in your job, to carry out your job efficiently. Initially, you might find a bit fearful when you take up new challenges, but you can always overcome it by learning to adapt yourself.
Because of the amount of data we are collecting from the buildings, we are able to have a whole new perspective of the functionalities of our building. We can actually visualize how our buildings are performing. On top of that, we are saving energy. So it's a very fascinating use of technology.
The most exciting thing about building optimization is really to know that our buildings are operating in the most efficient level, and that in turn creates a more conducive environment when it comes to operating costs for our tenants. This has always been a critical objective of ours to try to help our industrialists to manage operating costs.
In the long run, with all this building data gathered from the system, we can look at machine learning capabilities. It provides valuable insights on how our buildings are run. We can capture them in requirements, and that will help us better design buildings in the future.
I think the industry is going through a transformation. We have started the journey to transform how we manage our buildings. We hope that we can rally the industry to walk the journey with us.